So Bangladesh just had an election, and the result is so big that it can literally change India's border security, China's Bay of Bengal game, and the entire South Asia power balance. Welcome back to Geopolity, and today's tea is about Bangladesh's new elections and why India is low-key stressed and why China is low-key happy. On 12th February, Bangladesh held a major national election, and it's been called one of the most important ones in their modern history because this is the first election since the 2024 uprising where Sheikh Hasina was removed. And yes, Sheikh Hasina is currently in India. After that uprising, Bangladesh was being run by Muhammad Yunus. But people were like, bro, you can't run a country forever without elections. So pressure kept building up and now elections happened. And the biggest headline is BNP has won big time. So for reference, in Bangladesh parliament, which is called the Jatiya Sangsad, total seats are 350. But elections happened on 299 seats this time, and BNP is leading on around 212 seats. Let me translate that in very simple terms. That's not a win, that's a slap. Because to form the government, they only need 151 seats. So BNP basically got a supermajority style mandate. Now, Bangladesh politics has basically been like a two-player game since decades. Awami League, which was Sheikh Hasina, and BNP, which was Khaleda Zia. And for the last 18 years, Sheikh Hasina was ruling non-stop. So BNP was not in power for almost 20 years. So this election is basically Bangladesh hitting reset button. But here's where it gets a little spicy. Awami League did not contest this election because Muhammad Yunus banned Awami League. Now, obviously, people are questioning that, wait, how is this fully democratic then? But then look at the irony, because earlier under Hasina, BNP used to boycott elections. Now under Yunus, Hasina's party itself is banned. So Sheikh Hasina called the elections illegal and voterless. A farce. And honestly, if Awami League was allowed, BNP would have had to fight a little harder. Now let's talk about the main character, Tarique Rahman. He is Khaleda Zia's eldest son and Ziaur Rahman's son, who's the founder of BNP. And he's often called the Dark Prince because for years he wasn't even living in Bangladesh. He left in 2008 after corruption and violence cases, moved to London, and for the last 17 years, he basically controlled BNP from there. Then in December 2025, he returned to Bangladesh. Big welcome, big drama. But then in January 2026, Khaleda Zia passed away. So Tariq became the official chairman, and now BNP has won under his leadership. Meaning that Tarique Rahman is now almost confirmed to become the next Prime Minister of Bangladesh. And now a proper government is coming back. Also economically, Bangladesh has been under a little pressure. It's got inflation, youth unemployment, investor confidence issues. So a stable, strong government can bring investment, maybe stability, and maybe even restore international confidence. But it depends on how Tariq governs. Now let's come to the part where India is watching like, what just happened? India's biggest fear was that what if Islamist forces like Jamaat-e-Islam become powerful? Because that would mean more radicalization, more anti-India politics, and more instability. But in this election, Jamaat did not get major seats. So India is slightly relieved but not fully relaxed because BNP itself has a history. By the way, an interesting point, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was one of the first leaders to congratulate BNP. He congratulated Tarique Rahman, saying that India supports a democratic and progressive Bangladesh. And that's India basically saying, okay, fine, we'll work with whoever is in power because honestly, we don't really have a choice. Because India and Bangladesh share a land border of over 4,000 kilometers. That's huge. And not just that, they share river issues like Ganga, Brahmaputra, and the Teesta dispute. They share trade ties, security issues, migration and smuggling issues, and Northeast India's stability depends a lot on Bangladesh. Under Sheikh Hasina, India was comfortable because Hasina cooperated a lot with India. She cracked down on anti-India militant camps, allowed India transit access to the Northeast, and signed major agreements. But BNP historically has been more nationalist and a little anti-India-ish, and they often accuse India of interfering. So India is worried that now Bangladesh may become more assertive, security cooperation may reduce, and extremist groups may get space again. Also in recent months, we've seen reports of Hindu minorities being attacked, temples being vandalized, and rising radical street power. So the big question is, will Tarique Rahman control this or will it get worse? Because if it gets worse, India will be under pressure domestically too. Now let's talk about China. Bangladesh is part of China's Belt and Road ecosystem. Under Hasina, Bangladesh balanced China and India, but BNP historically leaned more towards China. If Tarique strengthens ties with China, China gets a stronger foothold in the Bay of Bengal, which means India's maritime strategy gets a little more complicated. Andaman and Eastern naval security becomes more important, and China gets one more pearl in its string of pearls. And India does not want that. And yes, Bangladesh Pakistan ties have also been warming up recently, which again makes India uncomfortable. Because for India, the worst case scenario is Bangladesh, China, and Pakistan getting too close. That's like a nightmare triangle. So, overall, this election is a huge reset for Bangladesh, but for India, it is a new uncertainty. Because Hasina was predictable, BNP is not, and Tarique Rahman is the big question mark. Will he take Bangladesh towards stability, progress, even balanced diplomacy, or will he let Islamist influence grow, anti-India networks return, and China deepen its control? South Asia's next chapter depends on that. So yeah, Bangladesh didn't just change its government, it kind of changed the whole game. And if you want more tea on all the global collage happening around us, do hit the subscribe button.